Imagine being hunted for 13 years, knowing that a single recognized face means you lose your entire kingdom all over again. For the Pandavas, their final year of exile, the Agyatvas, requires them to completely vanish. The terms of their banishment are unforgiving. 12 grueling years of surviving the forest mean nothing if they are unmasked during this glowing, hollow 13th year. If caught, that harsh red arrow points straight back to day one, trapping them in another 12 years of wilderness. And right now, the sand in that hourglass is almost out. The Pandavas are literally hours away from surviving their sentence and meeting the condition to reclaim their home. Their enemies, the Kauravas, know the deadline is approaching. They are scouring the continent, aggressively hunting the brothers to trigger that punishment loop before the sun sets. In these final hours, the Pandavas aren't just fighting an army. They are fighting their own reflexes, praying no one recognizes a voice or a gate before the clock hits 0. Kaurava spies begin to suspect the exiled brothers are hiding in the kingdom of Virat, disguised as common palace servants. To test this theory, the Kauravas avoid declaring a full-scale war. Instead, they launch a targeted tactical strike to steal Virat's prized cattle herds. This logic tree shows the exact psychological trap they set. Attack Virat, force them to defend their hosts, and consequently expose their identities. They know the righteous Pandava warriors, true Kshatriyas, cannot stand by and watch their protector get attacked. They time this strike for a moment when the main Virat army has been lured away to a distant border, leaving the capital completely defenseless. The Paddy raid is a calculated mechanism designed to exploit the Pandavas' morality, forcing them into a fatal mistake directly at the finish line. With the army gone, the defense of the kingdom falls entirely to Prince Uttara, a boastful royal who has never actually seen a day of combat. Desperate for a driver, the palace's eunuch dance teacher steps forward to act as Uttara's charioteer. This is Brihannala, but underneath the heavy makeup and silks is Arjuna, the era's greatest archer, deep in his required disguise. When their lone chariot reaches the battlefield, the horizon is choked with thousands of armored soldiers. The scale of the invasion is horrifying. Leading this force are the legendary Kaurava generals, Bhishma, Drona, and Karna. Facing them guarantees insurmountable odds. The sight triggers an immediate psychological collapse. Prince Uttara drops his weapons, scrambles out of the chariot, and frantically attempts to flee back to the city on foot. The fate of an empire now hangs on a chariot, where the only experienced soldier is pretending to be a dancer, while the actual prince is looking for the exit. Brihannala catches up to Uttara and physically halts the prince's cowardly retreat. But instead of heading into enemy lines, Arjuna steers them toward an ancient, twisted Shami tree, standing completely alone near the battlefield. This tree holds the Pandavas' ultimate contingency plan. Before entering the city a year ago, they hid their divine weapons high in these branches, tightly wrapped up like corpses to scare away superstitious thieves. Brihannala reaches into the canopy and pulls down the heaviest bundle. He forcefully unwraps the Gandiva, a celestial bow that strikes terror into kings. Holding the glowing weapon, he turns to the trembling prince and delivers the truth. I am Arjuna. Retrieving the Gandiva forces him to shed his mask entirely. He trades the safety of his disguise for the terrifying burden of his true identity. With the prince now driving the chariot, Arjuna acts as a one-man army, charging straight back into the fray against the shield wall. He systematically dismantles the Kaurava offensive, firing volleys that push back the greatest living warriors entirely on his own. A profound psychological shock paralyzes the Kaurava ranks. Hearing the thunder of the Gandiva bow, the enemy generals realize exactly who they are fighting. Arjuna shatters their formation, secures the stolen cattle, and completely routs the invading forces. 13 years of survival didn't soften Arjuna. They distilled his focus until he could dismantle an entire division while barely breaking his stride. As the Kauravas finally retreat, the sun dips below the horizon. The tactical countdown hits 0. The 13-year Agyatvas is officially and successfully completed. The Battle of Virat provides a terrifying, condensed preview of the devastation that the impending Kurukshetra war will bring. The Pandavas are stepping out of the shadows. The servants of yesterday are the claimants of tomorrow, appearing in the light with divine weapons drawn. With the disguise gone, the final ultimatum is set: face diplomacy tomorrow, or face the wrath of the Gandiva. Follow for daily Mahabharata to see the war